Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that ADHD footage on Roblox because I have a shitty computer and I can't really run anything else besides this World of Warcraft or League of Legends. So if you'd rather watch me play any of those in the background, just let me know down below. This is a new channel. I always wanted to do this for really long and I used to do it a lot when I was a little kid and I just said, screw it. I'm gonna do it. So I hope you enjoy this. It's Roblox footage from a game called Redliner. I thought it's quite like ADHD friendly. So enjoy that. But basically, why I'm making this YouTube video today, I want to vent about my job that I just left. Crazy experience. It was in printing. So basically, what that means is you are kind of just people ask you. It's pretty self-explanatory. People ask you to print stuff, and you kind of just do it. But it kind of requires a bit of skill with graphics and things because you have to format files, and know some programs and papers and how they react and that sort of thing. I would also do like mounting foam boards and banners and big things and using like these machine guillotines, which were like these death traps. And if I had to do safety checks on them because if something goes wrong with that, you can literally chop your whole hand off clean. So that's quite fun. But the actual job was quite nice. I kind of enjoyed it. It was nice. It was chill. The only problem, the reason why I left was because of the colleagues. It was kind of weird. Um, Obviously, I got into this position as a trainee, so they trained me up while paying me, which was quite sick. And I thought it was okay. But then it was a small team of just like four of us and one assistant manager and one director, which was just the boss, obviously. But they all worked as well. And at the beginning, I thought it was so cool. Like, oh, this is nice. Like, I'm enjoying it. It's not bad. And then over time, they started getting really sour. And even at the beginning, I'd just they'd tell me to do something, for example, like, "Oh, you need for these kind of jobs, you need to use this printer." Just boring stuff. And I'd be like, "Okay." And I'd use that printer. And then they'd be like, "Why are you using that printer?" And I was like, "You told me to." And they're like, "Yeah, but you can't do it if blank." And I'd be like, "Oh, okay. I guess that rule doesn't apply." But they do that so much. The point where it's like, what's the point of even telling me how to do something if every time I'm gonna listen to you, you're just gonna tell me I'm wrong for listening to you and give me this little specific kind of detail that I wasn't like, oh my God, headache. You know what I mean? So, anyways, that went on for a while, and then at the beginning, and they were telling me, they pulled me aside and they were like, "Hey, dude, you should ask more questions." The manager was saying like, "You need to ask more questions because you're here to learn and everything." And I was like, "Oh, right, my bad. I'm sorry. I'll definitely ask more questions." Right? And I felt quite bad because I was like, "Oh, am I not doing well? Like, I'm not asking enough questions. I feel horrible." Um, but I was still working hard, and I had this whole sheet that I was like writing all these cheats in, like these tips and everything. Like, I really cared about it. And this was at the end of the week. So then I was like, right, as soon as the next week starts, I'm going to write all my tips and tricks and ask questions. And I'm really going to get down and dirty and just ask questions because I want them to know I'm doing well, or progressing. So I get to beginning shift of next week and I start asking questions and they go, "You shouldn't be asking questions." And I'm not joking. I'm not joking. This is what they're saying. They're going, "Why are you asking questions?" After the previous week, they were like talking in against each other, like gossiping, like and making jokes out of myself. Like I asked a question the week before and they were like, "Whoa, he finally asked one." They're making it sound like I didn't. Like I asked like at least five questions a day. Like I wasn't like it was really confusing. And so I started asking more questions. And then they were like, you've been here for like, I don't remember. It was maybe like 1 or 2 weeks. They were like, "You've been here for 1 or 2 weeks now. You shouldn't be asking questions." I was like, "Okay. You just told me literally 2 days ago to start asking questions. I'm really like, what is going on?" And then that's when the kind of cracks in the wall started appearing, and I was like, "What's going on here?" Like, I feel a bit funny about all this. And after that, like the assistant manager, oh my God, she was unbearable. Like, she would get into beef with the customers and everything, and she'd have this tone, and always her brows were were scrunched up, and she looked pissed all the time. Just speaking in a crazy tone, and then she just started being hella disrespectful to me. There was so many times where I'd never done something, for example, I didn't know the protocol on calling, right? So then I go up and I'm like, "Oh, what should I do if this person hasn't provided the right thing?" She was like, Grab the phone. You know how to speak English, right? What the fuck? What is going on? There was so much stuff like that, and it really got to me. It started speaking horribly to me. I remember once she was very particular, as I said before, about rules and stuff. So I was doing this sort of file, I was formatting it, and she was like over my shoulder like a helicopter, right? And she was like, "You're doing it wrong." And I was like, "Okay, what am I doing? Like, what should I do?" And then she was like, "I don't know. What do you think you should do?" And I was like, this." And she was like, "No, you can't change the file too much because this customer is very picky." And then she told me to change the file, and I went, "You just told me that they're picky. Aren't they gonna care about that?" And then she just went, "Give me attitude." And I was just like staring at the screen. Now I'm a pretty chill guy. Like I don't get upset. All my friends and family know that I'm not an angry kind of person, and I haven't been since I was a little kid. I was quite angry as a kid, but then as soon as my balls dropped, I was quite zened out. And then afterwards, I was like, "That's so weird." And then she asked me a question afterwards, like, "Then what do you think you should do?" Like in this tone, I'm not joking. And I'm staring at the screen, like trying to cool down because I haven't felt this kind of rage inside my body in so long. It felt like the nine-tailed fox in Naruto. Like the bubbles. Like I felt the bubbles starting to come in, and I was like, "Oh my God, what is going on?" Just trying to take a deep breath, and it's quiet. And then she goes, "I asked you a question," and I'm not joking. My fingers started indenting into the table. Like I'd never felt rage like that since I was like a little kid and someone made fun of me in school playground or something. I was so close to throwing her into the sky. Okay. And after that, I ran out and I called my girlfriend and I was like, "I don't think I can do this. I think I'm done because this is too much. This like I haven't felt rage like this." And what made it worse is the I wouldn't have any socializing. I was so socially deprived. I would say around three conversational sentences per day. Like someone asking me how I am, good, how are you? And then besides that, it would just be 8.5 hours of me hearing machine go zoom, zoom, zoom. The boss and her were like in cahoots and they were like big in each other's misery. And then it kind of started brushing onto me and I was so depressed. It was really bad. There was another colleague which was around my age and she was always nice to me. She never like she was always patient with me even if I didn't know things. So even at the end when I left, I told her like thank you for being nice to me, and she was really kind and told me wish you nothing but the best. So big ups to her. But the other two, holy moly. Holy moly. Yeah, that was not fun. Um but yeah, moral of the story is uh you need good colleagues. Who would have thought? If you want to, because you're spending all your basically life with these people, you know, 8 hours. How long are you awake for? Maybe like 14 to maybe 16 hours a day you're awake, right? Um, and they are taking up a majority of that time, kind of thing. You know what I mean? So you need good people around you, which is not going to want you to like I don't know, disconnect, if you know what I mean. Log out. One of the jobs where I was like, oh, I didn't like that. We get a lot of memorial printing, right? So there would be like people and their mum or their sister or their auntie had just passed away and they're having a funeral service and they're going to us so we can print the flyers or the booklets or whatever they want in memory of them, right? So they send me the picture and everything. And and the boss just starts like keep in mind, imagine like a late 50s melted looking guy with glasses and a beer belly and but he looks a bit like Louis Theroux and that one thing from Spiderwick, if you guys have ever seen that. Just imagine a mesh of those two and he just looks at it and starts laughing at this dead mum or something on the memorial sheet and going like, "Oh, it looks like a meme. Look, it looks like this meme." And then starts like pulling out a meme, like Googling it and like pointing at it and laughing and being like, "Oh, right guys, right?" And then he keeps going, "Oh my God, I'm going to hell. I'm going to hell, guys. Oh my God. Oh, see you in hell. I'll tell you what hell looks like." Oh. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed my rambling. I've always wanted to post a video. If you don't like the audio of this, it's on a crappy like GeForce headset, I can always try using my phone and filtering out the sound that way, and it'll probably sound more crisp. But I kind of like this retro like headset microphone and Roblox footage. So yeah, let me know what you guys think, and let me know if you guys had any horror stories as well. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. All right, peace out.